つも君と待ち続けた季節は何も言わず通り過ぎた。雨はこの街に降り注ぐ少しのリグレットと罪を包み込んで泣かないことを誓ったまま時は過ぎ痛む心に気がつかずに僕は一人になった記憶の中でずっと二人は生きてゆける君の声が今も胸に響くよ。それは愛がさまよう限り君は少し泣いた。あの時見えなかった。
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though, you too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dahna.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life. For as long as I can remember. They called it treatment. But in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched. Helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse. But then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Xion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Dahnan victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this. Together.
Hey, Alphen, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology. It got me to Dahna in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. Well, that should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that'd mean you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you, back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence, and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Dahnans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dahna. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dahna even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renan ladder is considered superior to being a Dahnan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shionne?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Law's blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this Red Woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That red woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them. There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis' infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a Sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renins. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renins actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Do?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just... unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. You don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration, to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ylcaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit? The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ylcaris House has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Your lordship! Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time. Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ylcaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to this city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth, that Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Dahnan. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it! I didn't realize Renan suppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Dahnan city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dahna.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Canabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Dahnans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dahna, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Yes! Yes!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people, yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little consistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed. The effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay. Ah!
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganath Haros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Dahnan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else. What could this be?
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current Sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former Lord of Cyslodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming Sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over Holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the Sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the Motherland, Sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelegion, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renan by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Corps existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a...
Doe?
Faria.
Faria? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait, don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagin. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagin. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority, and introduced her to Tarnagin and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagin and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Dahnans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shionne's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shionne. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Did we really? You just spend that much money?
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Elda Menancia. I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
You're mine! I'm not done! Wind! Storm! Stardust! Strike! Fall back! Now you see what I can do! You're mine!
Astral Arts?
That's my cue.
Shut him down!
Fire support!
Down!
Look, you alright?
Yeah, I'll be okay.
Its armor's too strong!
Split it open!
Be my guest!
Severed wind!
Healing circle!
I'll burn it all! Flaming pillar! Fire!
I'll fix
My
you
turn!
up! Mega red double! Another bring him down!
You picked the wrong fight! No escape! Slap! Back to blade!
Here's a healing arc!
My shield! Take this!
Blow away!
Incineration wave! Struck! My turn! I'm not done! Severing wave!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Will this
My
help?
turn! No escape! Talon sword!
Healing circle!
Thanks!
Do it!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us. Gotta break through!
In a bind?
I call
Inferno
upon
punch!
thee! Gemini
Incineration
Aqua! These
wave!
ones can run rings around us!
First strike!
Here I come!
All
Eagle
these
Fly!
made one! Come forth and healing circle!
I could do without
Now I'm
pain!
in the groove!
Here I come!
If it's in the sky,
Strike!
it's mine! Water, hear my call!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And the pummeling to me!
We have true energy!
Dragon Sword!
Glacial
Here I
Spear!
come!
Pierce the evil!
No escape!
Freeze Lancer!
Wind! Stardust!
Oh! Now I'm real mad!
You're mine! No escape! It's over!
It was nice while it lasted.
Void Blast!
Hear my call!
Severing wind!
Glacial
Searing
Spear!
Gale!
Pierce the evil!
Swallowed it! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Oh! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
We can really make weapons with this?
Little help!
Burn!
Illuminate the dark!
Dragon Sword!
Healing circle! Holy glimmer!
Try
Holy
this!
lance!
Try your crossblade!
Super Swallow
A
Dance!
wailing
Take
Moody
this!
Hurricane!
Try harder! Here I come! Swallow Blade! Wind! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Incineration Wave!
That'll bring you down. A chain between heaven and earth.
Take this! Try harder! My turn! I'm not done!
Here and now.
You shouldn't have messed with me.
Will this help?
Eat this! I'll tear you
Swallow
apart!
blade!
Healing circle.
I owe you one.
Shooting star.
Watch this! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Take this!
Water.
It's all mine!
Come forth.
Ignite!
Roll now.
Vacuum blade!
Healing hurricane.
Incineration Wave!
Eagle fire.
Dust to dust!
Infernal Sword!
Again. Healing
Try
lightning.
harder! My turn!
A whirling
No
struggle.
escape!
Need to pull
Strike.
myself Winds together. Of heaven. Lunar corruption.
Vacuum blade!
First strike. Gemini opera. Dance in the wind.
Incineration Wave!
By the field.
Eat this! I'll tear you
Infernal
apart!
Current!
First, that freaking does it!
Explosion. Where was that came from?
I can do this all day! Eat this!
Try harder! Not a chance! Burn in hell! Thanks!
Fang blast.
Dragon Swarm!
Air thrust.
Try this!
Chain between heaven and earth.
Explosive ring!
Wheeling wall. That'll bring you down.
I'm just getting started!
Will this help?
No escape! Stardust!
Healing
Try harder! My turn! I'm not done!
Now you see what I can do!
Ready to go.
That freaking does it! That's enough!
Strike!
Healing fire. Won't move. Don't leave me. Lunar corruption. It's time to finish this. Die. Consuming wildfire.
I owe you one.
I'll heal you all.
Take this! Swallow blade!
In a bind?
Vacuum blade!
Damn it. This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
I felt better, that's for sure.
Hey, what do you say we fight that shining enemy?
This one's
Here's a
tough,
healing
but we
arm.
have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing. In here.
Bring him down!
Hear my call. More for the
Here I come!
You think that shield will save you?
Engaging! I'm not done! Try harder! Now! Here I come!
Here, let me help.
It's done!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Ready and ready!
The enemy wields armor too.
We'll soon see about that.
Swallow blade!
Water, hear my call.
Dragon Swarm!
Tear you apart!
Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Now!
Don't leave! Say! Ha! Blow them away!
Not a chance!
Here's a healing
Now you see what I can do!
My shield!
Lightning orb! Raging That'll bring you down.
I'm on a roll now!
We're not finished!
Now!
Shion!
Get toasty!
Burn strike!
I'll heal you
Not a
all.
chance! I'm not done! Ha! Severing wind! Stardust! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
I really owe you one.
Ha! You're finished!
Lightning
Dragon
attack.
I lost my take!
This!
Illuminate the stars.
There!
Talon storm! Holy land!
Incineration wave!
Now!
Demons descend! Flashing fang!
I'll heal you all.
Not a chance! Ha! No escape!
Lightning orb!
Wind!
Healing circle!
Strike! Stardust! Slice!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
I'll heal you all.
Say! Ha! Blow them away!
Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect you'll be in high demand if that's... the case.
I won't give you.
Dragon
Swarm!
Freeze Lancer!
Take this!
More where that
They
came
really
from!
don't give up, do they?
Vacuum Blade!
A whirling struggle.
Shion!
Get toasty!
Burn Strike! No!
Will this
Take
help?
this! Turn Hurricane!
Photon healing freezing
I
touch!
can't get out of this!
Spread!
Vacuum Blade!
If it's in the sky, it's mine.
Winds of heaven!
Incineration Wave!
Roll now!
Dohuli! Say! Ha! Blow them away!
I think I'm getting the hang of this.
You're definitely way stronger.
Yeah, nothing motivates you like having stakes this high. Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Gotta break
Here's
through!
a healing art!
It's
First aid!
My turn!
Oh, now I'm real mad.
I owe you one. I'll
Thunder
tear you
Blade!
apart! Eat dirt!
Talon Storm!
Vacuum
I
Blade!
think I'll pass on the handshake.
Watch this!
Incineration Wave!
Holy Lance! A chain
Wind!
between heaven and earth!
I'll crush you! Ah! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous Claw! Now you see what I can do!
This one's mine!
Tempest One! Confiscated!
Now or never. I'm not
Here's a
out!
healing art!
Take this!
First aid!
Strike! Talon Hurricane!
Here's a lightning condemned!
You're mine!
Thunder Blade!
I can do this all day!
I'm not
Illuminate
done!
the dark magic! Holy Lance!
You all down.
You'll pay for that!
First aid! Wailing dancing!
It's on!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
I'll be saving this
Try
one!
harder! Take this!
Resuscitation!
I'm not done!
Wind astral energy!
Here,
A charge like that can easily be fatal.
I can't
just
stop
as
it.
well, I'm
This
here to
way.
stop it.
Lightning condemned!
Swallow Blade!
Thunder Blade!
Watch
Illuminate
this.
the blah blah
You picked the wrong
magic.
fight!
Eagle
No
Fly!
further!
Holy Lance!
Crumble!
Swallow
between
Blade!
heaven and
Win!
In the groove!
A whirling fancy of light steel!
I can carve through
I owe
armor!
you one.
I'll be saving this one!
I owe...
Lunar corruption! Illuminate the dark! Blah 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 magic!
Severing Wind!
My focus!
Raging storm!
I'll burn it all! Ah! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
Here, let me help. If it's in the sky,
Take this.
it's mine.
Hero Escape!
Lightning
Try
condemned!
harder!
Freaking does it!
Not a chance!
Lunar
Take this!
corruption! Lunar blast!
I can do this outside me! Yours to be let free! Not in the time! Follow dance! Slide!
Love here!
This should do it!
Healing art!
Hero Escape!
First aid!
I can do this all
You're
day!
finished! Vacuum
I'll
Blade!
finish you here and now!
A whirling
It
struggle.
was nice while it lasted.
Winds of heaven!
Try this!
The power of flame!
Watch this!
There!
Death Blossom!
In here!
Armor won't save you!
Take this!
Explode!
That freaking does it!
Not a chance!
Will this help?
My turn!
Magic!
You're mine!
Inspiration!
I'm not...
I can do this all day!
This one's all mine! First strike! Burn in hell!
I really owe you one.
Annihilation!
I'll crush you! Ah! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous Claw! I'm on
I'll
it!
heal you
Hero
up!
Escape!
Watch this!
All disasters
Healing
made
circle!
one! Come forth
I owe you
and
one.
heal us
Watch
security!
it!
First strike! Wind!
Storm!
Blast!
Now I'm real mad!
Try harder! No!
Kisara!
I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life! That'll teach you. Us for getting cocky.
That enemy looks strong. Bet it'll be worth our while.
I've got a really bad feeling
In a
about
bind.
this!
Attack time! Dragon
Ready to go!
does it!
Raging storm!
Dragon
Dragon
Shell!
It's
Incineration
like
Wave!
trying to keep up with a wolf!
Swallow must have got your name on them!
Here I come! I'm not done!
I'll heal you all! Healing circle!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Will this
You're
help?
mine! Try harder! Not a chance!
Healing circle!
Need to pull myself together.
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Far beyond the
No.
darkest sky! I call upon you!
You require a hand.
Stardust!
Do it!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
Now! Take this! Strike! Strike! Severing Wind! Stardust! Mirage!
Can't get out of this!
Sleep now!
Strike! Swallow Blade!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire!
Will this
Here I come!
Tempest? More where that came from!
It's too much!
In the wind!
Strike!
Flame of fury!
Dragon form! Explosive
Seal.
ring!
I'll be saving this one! Tempest?
Take this!
More where that came from! Burning strike! I'm ready for the next battle.
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out!
Now you'll learn!
Go!
Fall back! Super Swallow
Dragon
Dance!
Swarm! I'm going in!
Watch it!
Hey!
Take this!
Searing Gale!
Light astral energy!
Say no more! My turn!
By the power of flame! Finish without a trace!
You picked the wrong fight!
You're mine!
Tempest
Inferno Punch!
I never miss! Celestial Runner! Ice Prison!
Super Swallow Dance!
Celestial Runner!
What's this?
No escape!
Shouldn't have messed with me!
It's over!
You require a
Healing
hand.
Circle! Tempest
Try harder!
Swirl!
Now! Here I come!
Just
I'm not done!
Can't get out of this!
You're mine!
I'm all
No
filled up!
escape! You're mine!
Annihilation! By the power of
Try
flame!
this!
Finish without a trace!
Explosive
Now!
ring!
Get toasty!
Bird Strike!
Here I go!
Not a chance!
Help me!
No escape! It's over!
Mission!
Void Blast!
Radiant not in your dreams!
Damn it! Damn it!
Dragon Show! Burning Strike!
Incineration Wave!
With this, I can become even stronger.
Right, here goes!
I see one, eh?
Far enough! I'll smash you!
Lightning can spread!
The flaming fire!
How long are we gonna keep this up for exactly?
Oh, my lord!
In a bind?
Winds of heaven! And here's
Swallow
another!
Dance!
More power!
Explosive ring!
I
can do without this.
Finish without a trace!
I can't move!
Don't leave me!
Hurricane! Xion!
Get toasty!
Bird Strike!
I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss!
Strike! Come and get
I'll
it!
bring you back from Death's Abyss!
Lightning condense!
I'll bring you back from
What's
Death's
this?
Abyss!
Illuminate the dark!
Too slow! Come and
Holy
get it!
quiver! Resuscitation!
Rip
Holy
and
light!
tear! Now I'm in the game!
Here's a healing
I'm on it!
dancing
Nothing
on
felt
the
fine
floor.
not too long ago.
Magic is in! Air thrust!
Here I come!
Now I'm in the groove! In a bind? Rip and tear! I'm just getting started!
Illuminate the
It's
dark!
on!
Finish
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade! You're wide open! Slash! Demon Fang! I'll run you through!
Healing Soul!
Thanks! Double Demon Fang! Crush! Eat this! I'll end you! Rip and tear! Oh, now I'm real mad!
Here, let me help.
Now or never! We're not finished! I owe you one! Talon Dragon Form! I'll crush you! Lightning Reflexes! Tenebrous Claw!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Dahnan. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for. Let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So... what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Dahnan astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
I won't forgive you!
Bring him down! Now I'm in the groove! Dragon Swarm! Severing I'll bounce that gun out of your hand! Strike! Dragon Shout! Dragon Swarm! Swallow Blade! Severing Blade!
Get toasty!
Burn Strike!
Looks like we won. An opponent like this should be easy.
Raging Cascade!
Dragon Claw! I won't show you any mercy!
You got spirit! Annihilation!
Not today!
That'll bring you down!
First strike!
Now! Here, let me help! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Here, let me help!
I'm not done!
Vacuum blade! Glacial spear!
I'm on a roll now!
It's time! No escape!
Take this!
Vacuum blade!
The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that!
Feeling gale!
Annihilation! Purge malevolence! Magic
You're
is
mine!
down! Burning
Swallow
strike!
blade!
Glacial spear!
You're
Pierce
mine!
evil!
Dragon swarm!
Freeze lancer!
Win! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Far
No!
beyond the dark
You're mine! You're quite the gunslinger.
I have to be, in this world.
Don't worry, I've got your back.
Go no further! Hear me! First
Vacuum blade!
Burning in here! Sword! More for the
Here I
stockpile!
Strike!
Freeze lancer! Seal!
Swallow blade!
Freaking does Radiant light!
Win!
The regeneration!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And the bubbling! To me! Far enough!
Can't get out of this!
I owe you. There!
I'm on a roll now!
Swallow blade!
Go away!
Take this!
Lost my focus!
Mirage!
Radiant
Freaking blade!
of regeneration!
Slash! Swallow blade! Eat dirt!
I could do this all day!
Vacuum blade! Thanks! Incineration wave! My turn!
Between heaven and earth!
Strike!
Storm!
I'm not done! Stardust!
I'm on a roll now!
Take this!
Regenerate!
You're mine! I'm not done!
That'll bring you down!
Down on the ground!
Do it!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Not a chance! No escape!
I'm just getting started! Inferno
Swallow
punch!
blade!
I can
I'm
handle
ready!
it! Astral energy!
Say no more!
Let's refrain from losing.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
This is a true masterpiece, no less than culinary art.
We've reached our destination.
Wow! Thank you. Great!
Yeah.
I wish I could get an examination.
Well, if you say so. Let me see, yes, you're in well, all right?
If only your brain could keep up with your mouth.
Ah, Shion, just in the nick of time. Here, lend me a hand while I...
No!
What the... Oh, right. The thorns. My bad.
No, I'm the one who should apologize. I overreacted.
Again, Law? Can't you even go a minute without putting your foot in your mouth?
Seriously, it's fine. I'd rather that than people feeling like they're walking on eggshells around me. Besides, I'm the one who should be vigilant about not touching you guys, not the other way around.
Actually, I've been meaning to ask. Not being able to touch people. Does it ever get lonely sometimes?
I guess I never really thought about it in those terms. It was either accept it for what it was, or come undone. Before long, it was just part of my everyday reality. I think I even forgot there was another way to live. Which isn't to say I didn't feel alone. I did. Always.
So numb to your reality, you couldn't even recognize it as loneliness? I don't know how you managed.
It's fine. I know I'm not alone anymore.
But I can't even touch you. No way of lending you a shoulder when you're down? Even Alphen.
I appreciate the concern. Until I get rid of these thorns, I guess I'll have to put up with it just a little longer. But not forever. Alphen promised me that. Maybe it'll be soon, maybe it won't be. But either way, the day will come. And I'll be ready when it does.
Yeah, just hang in there. One day, we'll share a big warm hug. You'll see. I promise.
I never thought about this until now, Alphen. But doesn't it get hot wearing that armor all the time? You feel heat and cold again, don't you?
Admittedly, yeah. It can get pretty toasty in this thing.
Is it hard when your back starts to itch?
Oh, you bet. Plus, my shoulders get stiff wearing it, even if it's not all that heavy.
Kisara looks like she manages all right with her armor.
Armor takes a strong body and a stout heart.
Spoken like a true guardsman. Not that I really get what you mean.
The more I think about it, the more I realize what a pain it must be. Like, what do you do when you need to take a leak?
Ew!
That part can be a bit of a pain, yeah. More things to take off.
That sucks, man. Wouldn't it be easier if you just walked around outside of your armor most of the time instead?
You never know when the enemy might attack. As tempting as it might be to take it off, it's not worth getting killed over.
So basically, you're screwed if you ever get attacked while taking a dump. Right, Rinwell?
Are you doing this on purpose?
We've reached our destination.
If you need help with anything, just let me know.
Shion, about that fight just now.
Sorry about that. I was careless.
I didn't come to criticize you. Just please take better care of yourself.
You don't need to worry about me. In case you forgot, I can't exactly die anyway. It's like how you used to not care about getting beat up because you couldn't feel pain, and then I was the one to patch you up. It's the same thing.
You're right. That is how I used to be. But this isn't the same.
Then what do you mean? How is what's happening now different from what happened then?
It's different now.
Look, if you mean because you can feel pain again,
It's because I don't want to see you getting hurt. You're right. When I couldn't feel any pain, I put myself in all sorts of dangerous situations. I didn't listen to anybody's warnings, and I made a lot of people worried for no good reason. It was foolish. This isn't about you and me being able to take pain. I don't want to have to see you get hurt, Shion. It's too much for me to take. Is that a crazy thing to say?
No, it isn't. And I definitely don't like seeing you get hurt either, Alphen. We can't expect our enemies to show us any mercy, but I will do my best not to throw myself in harm's way out there either. How does that sound?
I'm sorry if I sounded harsh earlier. I didn't mean to. I just really want you to take better care of yourself.
I will. At least, for as long as I can.
What? Hey guys, I don't see any of our food anywhere.
What?
I know! The bag we kept it all in has vanished! Some Zeugles must have gotten in behind us and swiped the whole thing while we were fighting.
What? Huh? What are you guys talking about?
This affects you too, you know! We lost all our food, including all those sweets you love so frickin' much!
What? How could this happen? Those sweets are the highlight of my day! Oh, so hungry.
Hunger is like that. The moment you know there's nothing you can do about it, it becomes that much more unbearable.
Whoever did this, I swear I'm gonna make them pay for stealing our supplies.
All that's left now is this one lonesome apple.
Law?
What? Hey, don't look at me like that. I picked this apple myself. I'm not just gonna...
Food. Hand it over.
Stay away!
Hey, I'm back. Huh? What the heck happened here?
Only a poignant reminder of how dangerous a food shortage can be in a collective. A serious problem indeed. And one we should all be mindful of.
I see. Does it have anything to do with why you're holding our food supply bag behind your back?
This shall suffice. Please, everyone, have a...
Shion, could we talk a moment?
I thought you had something to talk about. I was waiting on you.
Not really. Why? Should I leave you alone when I don't?
No, it's fine.
We used to really have to force these conversations when we started talking to each other, didn't we?
To say the least. Hey.
What is it?
Do you think you'd like to make something together?
Make what exactly?
Just if you wanna make dinner together. What did you think I meant?
Huh? Dinner? Oh, dinner, yes. Yes, of course. Dinner. Right.
What did you think I was talking about?
No, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Anyway, what did you have in mind?
Well, do you recognize these ingredients?
This is... Wait, is this?
So you remember? That's right. We're going to fix the very first meal we ever had together. Although I remember it not being well received when we had it.
You still remember that, huh? I'm sorry, Shion.
I'm just teasing you, Alphen. I picked this recipe because it's easy to make, and I thought it would be a good choice for dinner, too. Anyway, let's get to work. With both of us making it, we should be finished in no time.
I never thought we'd end up eating alone like this again. Just the two of us.
Yeah. So much has changed when you look back on it. Well, I guess maybe not what we're eating, but still.
No, I'd say even that's changed too, in a sense. Our meals are a whole lot better now.
True. We've both come quite a long way in the culinary arts.
That's not exactly what I mean. How do I put it? It feels like eating together is a lot more enjoyable than it used to be.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Even after our battles are done, when Dana is saved and our mission is finished, we'll probably still be sitting down to dinner like this, night after night.
Yep, I doubt that much will change. You've always got to eat at some point.
I hope our dinners will always feel like this.
Maybe not exactly like this. Hopefully we won't still be camping out.
Oh, no, not at all. I meant in a nice, warm house. One with a roof over our heads and a proper fireplace, instead of an open campfire.
And real chairs instead of these logs. Nice plates and silverware on a big dining table. Oh, and a proper kitchen. That'd be nice too.
And when it's time to fix dinner, we'll be in that kitchen.
Standing side by side.
Whoops. Looks like we made too much. I don't think we'll be able to finish all this.
Yeah, you're right. I'll see if anybody else is still awake. I'd really hate to have to throw it away.
Side by side, huh?
I think it's time we go to sleep. Morning. Ready to head out?
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Out of our way!
In a bind?
Mega Ray!
Here I come!
Your reflexes will not serve you well here.
A whirling trouble! Winds of heaven! Radiant light! Here! It's over! Lightning!
Begin!
Downfall!
Elusive deity!
Here I go! Go!
Rotating pile!
It's over! Tempest Whirl! Searing Tempest! And that's my will! Flare
Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Radiant Land!
Hurricane Thrust!
Let the marksman
Rising
handle
Phoenix!
this! Radiant Lightning
Swallow
Orb!
Blade!
Here!
I'm ready!
The flames will roar! Annihilation! Burning! Graviton
Take it!
Field!
Come knock
Radiant
down!
Blood! Explosive Charge! Burst! No
Benediction
defense!
light.
Go! Raging Storm!
Heal! Thanks!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
Gotta break through! Here I come!
Face
you!
Burn!
You're mine!
Attack!
Dance on the
Dragon
wind!
Swarm!
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
Tornado drive!
Unleash World!
This isn't looking good.
Healing
You're
Circle!
mine!
Hit!
Begin!
No escape!
Sonic
Now
Try
ready
harder!
to
My turn!
Need to pull myself
Dance!
together.
Here!
Holy Land! Annihilation! Between heaven and where are you going?
Hold nothing
A
back!
whirling banshee of lightning!
Vacuum
By
Blade!
the power of
Eagle
flame!
Ray!
Swallow Blade!
Without a
Wind!
trace! A whirling struggle!
Down on the ground! What?
Wind of heaven!
Shine!
Sleep now.
Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Wind!
Benediction light.
Stardust!
Came between heaven and
Heal!
earth!
I'll burn it all! Ah! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
Shine! Radiant light!
Here I
Force
come!
of regeneration!
Burning!
Regenerate! Don't suffer in silence!
Take it!
Too shy to come
Ignite!
over. Here, let me
Down!
Everlasting
Freeze
shock!
Lancer!
Swallow Blade!
Eagle Ray!
Air thrust!
Infernal Torrent!
Light Astral blah blah blah! Freeze Lancer!
Raining pile drive!
Strike! No escape!
Dance in the wind!
Radiant light!
Go
Force
here!
of regeneration!
I'm hurt bad.
I'll be
Strike!
ready to deploy!
Try this!
I'm ready to go.
Infernal Torrent!
Tempest
Here I
Whirl!
come!
Look where that came
Strike!
from!
The power
I'll
of
face
light.
you!
Searing Gale!
All right, let me at him.
Tempest!
Photon Raging Cascade!
It's
Try harder!
My turn! Down on the ground!
Is this it?
Come on.
Breath of life!
You have to
Heal my
heaven.
weary companion!
Flaming meteor! Air thrust!
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with love!
Where are
Resuscitation!
you going? Far beyond the darkest sky!
Benediction
I
light.
Not done yet!
Heal!
illuminate the sun!
You made me angry.
Holy Glimmer!
That was a bad idea.
Vacuum Blade!
Holy Land!
Shine!
Came
Take
between
this!
heaven and earth!
Look sharp.
There!
A wailing
Inferno
banshee of
crossing.
lightning!
Shine!
Incineration
Radiant light!
Blade!
One's
Force of
mine.
regeneration!
Hurricane
Regenerate!
I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare Demolisher!
Breath
Take
of
this!
life! Heal my
No
weary
escape.
companion!
Swallow
This
Blade!
one's much
Pure!
more
Appreciate it!
Severing Wind!
Far beyond the
Searing
darkest
Gale.
sky! I call upon thee!
Try this!
Winds of heaven!
Here I come! Look sharp!
Awailing
Fantastic! Now my clothes are ruined. Alright, let me at him!
Tempest!
Ignite!
Now!
Kisara! Commander of Heavens!
Phoenix Cyclone!
It was a close thing.
Right, here goes!
You got spirit!
Far enough!
You're mine!
Lunar Corruption! Raging Star!
Super Dragon
If you won't bow out nice, then you leave me no choice!
Engaging!
Die!
Eat this! Confiscated!
Watch this!
There!
Healing Circle!
Incineration wave!
We got Slayer
Where are you going?
Fire support!
It's on!
You get the
Take this!
gist.
You picked the wrong
I'll
fight!
heal you all!
Swallow dance!
Strike! Swallow blade!
Sleep now.
Ram!
Pull myself together. I'll be saving
Searing
someone.
gale! An astral light?
That's my
We
cue.
did it! Shut him down!
Aura won't save you!
There! Swallow blade!
Here's a healing
You
arc.
require a
There you are!
Will this help?
Floor!
I can handle it!
Now! Healing
Richard!
Circle! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Raging
No!
Cascades!
Eat this!
Searing
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! This is the power of the blazing sword!
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control Zoogles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a Master Core?
What the? Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zoogles. Then we get some answers.
Aim for the weak spot.
Now!
I could do this all day.
Recover!
That's freaking good.
Ready! Lightning!
No further!
Lightning
Wind!
Thunder Flame of Fury!
Searing Gale!
Lightning Strike!
Ignite!
Water! Hear my call! Land!
Dragon Swarm!
Chain between you get the death.
Now I'm
Try
in the
this!
groove.
Super Explosive Ring!
Talon Sword!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Now! While it's reeling!
Take it down!
Eagle Fly!
A wailing
Strike!
It's time!
Divine Speed! Now for something special!
Now you see what I can do!
Down to the wind! Air thrust!
Swallow Blade!
Holy Land!
Here I come! Slash! Severing Wind!
Explosion!
Leave the torque to me!
Lightning Condensed! Thunderblade! Healing Circle between heaven and earth! A wailing Banshee of Snap!
I'm not done!
Radiant! This way!
This one's all mine!
Whirling Fury!
Burn in hell!
Spring Strike!
Water!
Hear my call!
Talon Hurricane!
Incineration Wave!
Pieces!
Swallow
Attack
Blade!
knife!
Do it!
Jump!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Far beyond the dark sky! I
Be
know
still!
one team!
Talon
Start up!
Hurricane!
Healing Circle!
Void Blast!
Thankful Arrow!
Take this!
One more!
Death
I'm not
Blossom!
done!
A chain between heaven and earth!
It's gonna attack!
Right, watch out!
That freaking does it!
First
I
aid!
really owe you one.
Wind
You're
Astral
mine!
Energy!
Let's try harder! Now!
Ready and ready!
Let's try harder! Not a chance! Swallow Blade!
Free
Down right!
Dance in the wind! Air thrust! A whirling
This
struggle!
one's all mine!
Wind of heaven! First floor!
Be still! Stardust!
More for the stop!
Strike!
Inspiration! Lightning!
Do this all day.
Thunderblade!
Swallow Blade!
Now
Super Swallow Day!
Vacuum Blade!
Talon Hurricane!
Eat dirt!
Annihilation between
Dragon
heaven and
Swarm!
earth!
Eat this!
A wailing Banshee of lightning! Divine
Explosive Ring!
A whirling struggle! You get the gist!
Armor won't save! Now I'm in the groove!
I owe you
Where
one!
are you going? Cyclone!
Dragon Swarm!
Talon Hurricane!
Try this!
Need to pull myself together.
Burn!
What's this? No! Can't end here!
Don't sleep!
Not done yet!
Raging
You're
Castle!
mine!
Swallow Dance!
Dazzle!
Friend!
We got him on the run!
Don't get cocky!
Right. Still anyone's fight.
Storm! Sealed! Downfall!
Not my finest.
Photon blast!
Try harder! Not a
Where
chance!
would that came from? Air thrust! A healing arm! First aid! I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss!
In a bind?
Lightning Thrust! Rising Phoenix!
Lightning Condensed! Thunderblade!
There!
Blah, blah, blah! Healing Circle! Holy Land! That move! A chain between heaven and
Here
earth!
comes the big one!
Take it!
Try harder! Not a chance!
This photon searing flame! Reload!
It's on!
Out of ammo!
Now! Void Blast! Try harder! My turn! Stay away from my friends! Be still!
Light Astral Energy! I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss! Air thrust!
Take
Ready!
this! You picked the wrong fight!
Back into the fray! Mega Wailing Struggle! Annihilation!
Do you require
Winds
a
of
hand?
heaven!
What's this?
Talon Hurricane! This one's mine! Inspiration!
Not my finest.
Graviton! Field! Stockpile!
Mirage!
By the power of light!
Lightning Thrust!
Finish without a
Stardust!
trace! From Dance in the Wind!
Far enough! Void Blast!
Air thrust! Photon
This
blast!
one keeps
Here
charging
goes!
us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Infernal Torrent!
A whirling struggle! Now!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade! Now it's just her!
Faria! Can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almeidrea. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.